Khube Rinpoche is the founder of the Tibetan Karuna Home in southern India. The former Buddhist monk has special plans for the year ahead, now that the institution is celebrating its 10th anniversary.
Last December 3rd, we complete the 10th year since the Karuna opened. So we thought to celebrate this 10th year anniversary and give the children some great opportunity to come out to the public.
Here will be the stage. Stage will be the 40 feet width and 30 feet deep, 30 by 40. And that there will be we call green room, where the artist will change the clothes. And from that side will be the entry for the VIP and artists only, from that side. And where you see the staircase will be the public will enter from there. So we are expecting like maximum first day 5,000 people, hopefully.
Rinpoche and the home are supposed to play host to a gigantic show for the whole of Bailakapi and its 10,000 Tibetans in exile. However, Khube has a problem. The Indian workers are way behind schedule.
I'm worried right now. I hope they will do everything on the time. They promised me that tomorrow afternoon stage will be ready, so our kids tomorrow afternoon can come and do the rehearsal.
To make sure that the show will be a success, Rinpoche invited some of the biggest Tibetan pop stars from all over the world. Excitement builds up amongst the children as their idols are about to arrive.
We are just choosing who's your favorite singer. They have chosen one and we are another. So the boy and girl is different. Hello.
The kids are excited. Soon they will perform together with the real stars.
Most of them are the really very famous Tibetan singer, known singer, not only in India, also inside the Tibet, many Tibetan who follow and who like their songs. So for us as a Karuna Home, it's really a great opportunity, and for us it seems like they are supporting us, and their support, their presence will make a big difference to bring the more crowd for the concert.
Finally, the time has come. Amongst the stars are Patsering, a Tibetan comedian from northern India, and the rapper Tenzin Dawa Tsona from the Netherlands. They came from all over the world to support Karuna Home's disabled children for free.
Khube Rinpoche, his foundation, Karuna Home, is amazing. What he's doing is just amazing. And from our side, we have to support him, right? So I did my best, and it's amazing to help him and support the needy kids, the special kids.
Only 2 days left until the first show, but there are still problems with the dance choreography.
I've been 5 years over here and working with these kids, and I've seen them. They are very much loving with the dance and music. I teach them a dance, music, according to their abilities, and they are comfortable. They can't do what exactly I'm teaching. We need a lot of practice. Every day we do a practice, and then only there comes a perfect dance. They always listen to the Tibetan artists' songs, and they never seen them real life. And this is the opportunity. They are coming here, and we are getting a chance to dance together with them. And yes, we are looking forward to it.
Khube Rinpoche has planned for the show to travel to Tibetan communities throughout the whole of India. The grand finale will be a visit to Dharamsala in northern India, the seat of the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan government in exile.
This show make them great experience, see the different place. Many of the kids never seen Bangalore, not after the Mysore even. So they are going far north of India, right? Many of them heard about the Dharamsala but never visit. And this time not only visiting those places, but as one artist. So I think it's a big opportunity for them and a great experience.
Ten-year-old Ten Yun has been living in the Karuna Home for the past 7 years. She was born with spastic paralysis and is dependent on her wheelchair. Her family was unable to care for her. Although shy, the girl will be presenting the show together with a paraplegic Tsering Norbu.
I feel like home over here, and the Rinpoche is like my father's, and everything. I mean, the Karuna staffs and students are my brother and sister.
At the age of 10, Tsering Norbu fled Tibet and crossed the Himalayas all by himself. His parents could no longer envision a future for their child due to the brutal and oppressive Chinese occupiers.
The main reason to sending me here is like in Tibet we don't have like free to learn the cultures, our own cultures, our own traditional, and mostly importantly the English is not there during my time in 1993. So my mom told me we have to go there and meet Dalai Lama and study the traditionals and the cultures.
To this day, Norbu lives with his childhood trauma. He grew up in Dharamsala without his family. In order to numb his pain, he tried to drown his sorrow in alcohol. When he was 26 years old, the next stroke of fate hit him.
I was come out from the bar and walk through walk in the middle of the road. So one taxi comes and hit me and they ran away. Like moving my head and see on the leg. The leg is still there, but it's not moving. Then I feel very crying. I cry a lot. What happened to me?
In India, being handicapped is widely understood as a punishment by the gods. According to his own Buddhist faith, Khube Rinpoche decided to help those helpless kids some 20 years ago.
In beginning of 90, I've seen one family with disabled kids, and this is a Tibetan family, and they have this child, and the parents are farmer, and they used to tie the child under the one tree, and they go for the walk. And they at the midday they come, and the child was just doing everything there. He was able to crawl, but cannot walk, and is totally mentally disabled also. So that time the thought comes to me, why we don't have such a one house to look after these kind of kids? So from there actually the idea comes to me, and then slowly this idea comes to build up the Karuna Home. I want to make them happy, so that's our first aim. Then the second one is the according to their ability to give them medication and the education.
And you will read by one of Pulses, you're going to read the story first. Okay. Yeah, sure.
In the past 10 years, Karuna has become a model home for the disabled in southern India.
And the final is to stand up their own feet. So that's is really not easy. I'm trying to find them some job, some work, or inside Karuna or outside Karuna. So that's my main focus on the future. When I see some of them first time here, even they are afraid to talk with me at the first day when I saw. And when there's 30-40 people, they just run away. So now we encourage them to dance in front of us first, only us. So the slowly dancing here, performing here, they are more encouraged to do so.
To make this perfect dance, we need regular practice, and day by day we need a practice. And sometimes, it's very difficult because each children have their different mentalities, and some children they can't catch up very fast. It's the main problem, the concentration. While they are doing the dancing, their mind will be disturbed. They are getting very difficult to get back to the concentration, and we have to tell them behind tabla, migma, focus. Next time now the gande shadow into the shadow to the and marda de sing
Only 24 hours before the premiere, Rinpoche had extra big posters being made for the occasion. The kids themselves, but also the rest of India should see. These kids are real stars. Tomorrow, the Karuna Home is expecting 5,000 visitors. However, at this point, the sound system an Indian event agency provided is still acting up.
Hey, Kara. Yep.
It's the day of the premiere, and the musicians rehearse a song they want to perform together at the end of every show.
Basically, it's a happy song. Let's go back to Tibet, and these kind of inside. There's a little story about Tibet, how rich the nature, the culture is. So basically, the chorus says, "Let's go back to Tibet all together, hand to hand, shoulder to shoulder."
Some of the singers themselves fled Tibet when they were children. For them, the song has a special meaning.
My parents, they decided to send me here in India to have a better education. I climbed up the mountains, I crossed the rivers. It took 1 month. At that time, I was 5 years old. So when I reached here, I got each and everything that His Holiness provide us, everything. And He's Allah, our parents. Now it's been like almost 22 years that I haven't seen my mom.
I think it's very important to gathering, to make all people together. And with the songs, there is a love song also, so romantic songs, but there's many songs about freedom, about His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. So I think it's very important. So thousands of people listen these songs, and then when they see the life, so I think it's very, very important to keep up our tradition, our culture, our causes, Tibetan causes, and freedom causes. I think it's very important. Till now it's going good. Everything is going smooth, and I'm quite happy. But there's still a lot of people has to become, so I'm with little rush. So we have only half an hour, and I don't know.
Shortly before the premiere, stage fright increases. It's not easy for Ten Yang and Norbu to be performing in front of 5,000 people.
Oh, I feel very exciting and feel a little bit nervous about it.
I
Tanyang was worried she would not be able to utter a single word on stage. The other kids too, in their traditional Tibetan costumes, must take up the challenge.
It's amazing. It's super, super. I think until now it hasn't been like here before in Khube. From my experience, it's really good. I mean, it's original and high quality.
Very happy. Voice is already gone, but very happy. Now our staff is going to dance. So.
Despite all their difficulties, tonight these kids will become stars, performing in front of 5,000 people.
This concert is, I divided into like this. First one is to our special kid, to give them opportunity, So to spread the news, information to Tibetan community that Karuna Home exists, first thing. Second, to give the opportunity for the special kids. Then third, through the music, send the message to all the Tibetan people, not only in India, also in Tibet, that we Tibetan all are together. In Tibet, the Chinese tried to, the Communist Party tried to destroy our language, our tradition, no? So I think because of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he already thought that we Tibetan must stay together. So that's why he asked the Indian government and keep all this settlement here, where you can see that we all speak Tibetan inside our community. So this is, I think, very, very important to preserve, to save our culture, tradition. I think the Tibetan cause is still life. Each Tibetan, even my son, 4 years son, always said, "Go back Chinese." So they repeat this word. So they know that our country is occupied by someone else. So this is not our country is Tibet. So this message, I think, continuously passing through generation to generation.
Thank you.
It's the starting of our show. It's not the over. It's only over for first show. Yeah. So good luck.
Today, the Karuna Home celebrates the start of a new year, according to Tibetan tradition. The premiere was a success. However, this is only the beginning. Tomorrow, the entire show will embark on a 2-week trip through the whole of India. Before the departure, Khube Rinpoche invited everyone to celebrate the Tibetan New Year, called Losar, in Karuna Home's newly built temple. Pop stars, children and caretakers pray together for a happy new year and a successful tour. Some monks from the nearby Sera-monastery joined them for the occasion. Back in the old days, Khube Rinpoche used to be one of them. The same evening, Khube Rinpoche and the musicians are invited back to the Sera-monastery. The New Year's celebrations continue throughout the night. Khube himself lived and studied here for 20 years. When he was a young child, he was discovered to be the 6th reincarnation of a high-level Lama. Because of this, his life path in a monastery was sealed.
we have to follow a lot of rules and regulations. And on top of that, we have many vows. And I learn a lot for the meaning of life, how to spend our life in meaningful way. Then I start to travel into the Western country from 1990, and I've seen the different world, and modern life attract you, and you want to do something different than what you are doing. I want to have a family. I want to, because my father got me and my brother, and we both were monk, so our lineage was going to finish. So I want to have a family, kids.
The tour starts the next day. All pieces of luggage are marked by colourful ribbons. And everyone received their own stage pass for the shows. Everything should be set for now. The big adventure starts today. 13 disabled children and 20 of their caretakers, a chef and technicians, together with 9 Tibetan pop stars, embark on the tour of a lifetime. For some extra courage on the road, the kids and caretakers sing a special song. Approximately 4,000 kilometers are ahead of them through India. The group takes the night train to their first stop 400 kilometers away in Hubali. Khube made sure that 2 caretakers were looking after every child. A lost tour poster or a forgotten wheelchair could jeopardize the entire tour.
My main worry is traveling, because we are 13 children traveling together, and I need like a 20 staff, more than 20 staff who need to help them during the traveling, for the performance and organizing the concert. So the staff is the really, without them I'm not able to do this concert.
Even the stage poster made it to Hubali. The group is still facing a 4-hour bus ride to the Tibetan community of Mundgot.
I'm so excited. It's my first time to Mundgot. I want to see all the settlement of Tibetans.
Even in the extremely remote Mundgod, exiled Tibetans managed in the last 50 years to build their Buddhist monasteries and their own culture from scratch. The first leg of the tour is done. The Karuna Home show group can stay overnight in a Tibetan school free of charge. 10-year-old show presenter Ten Yang is glad to have finally arrived. Faced with 40 degrees Celsius, the group sleeps on the roof terrace, hoping that it will cool down a little at night. Yet there is some bad news. The roll with the big stage poster was forgotten somewhere.
They dropped our backdrop. That's the problem. When I'm not there, there's always something going wrong.
Caretakers and bus drivers argue heatedly how this could happen. Luckily, the stage poster reappeared just in time for the concert. They found it at the train station. Now the only thing left is for sound engineers to finish up the sound system and light show. Many of the monks from the surrounding monasteries arrive early for the show. It's a welcome distraction from their otherwise lonesome lives. As before every show, the Tibetans pay respect to their martyrs with a minute of silence. Monks especially use self-incineration as a sign of protest against the Chinese occupation in Tibet. Now the joyful part of the evening begins.
The disabled children with the artists and even the host of the concert, I mean the presenter, are the disabled, two wheelchair. I think in the Tibetan society is the first time. For the viewer, for the audience, I think it's a new thing to see, and it remains for them, so the disabled can do also. So this message for me is very important. So normally we say this is disability, just leave somewhere else. So these disabled children can dance, can talk, can present, do everything.
After 2 successful shows in Mundgod, the entire group is scheduled to depart and embark on a 450-kilometer bus ride to the airport of Bangalore. From there, they will be taking a plane to northern India. Not everyone is looking forward to this, especially the caretakers have concerns.
When you go to the north, so most of our staff and students are not been there, so we don't know what to expect from north. So that's the main problem. Like we are worrying about that.
But we'll see. I'm worried because we have a lot of luggage, so that's a little bit worried.
And there is indeed cause for concern. The bus that should take them to the airport should have already arrived. Together, they now watch a video of the previous night's show to kill some time.
Bus supposed to be 9 o'clock here. It's already 9:30. We're waiting. Hope they will arrive.
2 hours later, and the bus has finally arrived. Yet now the organizers' nerves are on edge. The entire tour is in jeopardy.
ನಮಗೇನೆ ಇದರ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಹಿಂಗೆ 45 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಯ್ತದೆ 3 ಲಕ್ಷ ಹೋಯ್ತಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಿಂದ 3 ಲಕ್ಷ 1-2 ಲಕ್ಷ ಇಲ್ಲ 3 ಲಕ್ಷ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ಈಗ उसको हमको बोला था पहला ग्रुप इधर से लेना है दूसरा ग्रुप अभी इधर से 3 किलोमीटर जाना है उसका सामान पूरा डालना है if I miss my flight, you know, I will miss all the consequences. We are 2 hours late. 2 hours late. Okay, so I'm a little bit worried. So if anything happens, you have to take the risk. Okay.
In this journey, the most expensive cost is the flight. Other are buses and train are expensive, but not that much. So it is really the highest cost for our traveling because 46-member flight from Bangalore to Chandigarh, and it is a lot of money for us. If we miss the flight, we will lose all the money.
It's even worse when the bus driver gets lost in the middle of the night. It turns out that the road he drove on is not yet fully constructed.
He make the mistake wrong road. So we have to go back 3 kilometers and take right. Bangapura. हाँ स्ट्रेट इष्टो किलोमीटर होगा इष्टो किलोमीटर 20 We got it.
They're running out of time. If they miss next morning's flight, the entire show will fall through. On Indian roads, one needs at least 8 hours for 450 kilometers. The group is lucky. They arrive at Bangalore airport even earlier than expected. For most of the children, it's the first flight of their lives.
Myanmar normally are very scared to anything new, but Myanmar was okay. Chesang was she cried a little bit. She went like 7-8 times to toilet. So the person who looked after Chesang was a little bit problem in 2.5 hour journey. He has to go 8-9 times to the toilet.
After a flight covering 1,500 miles of the journey, the group is facing another 6-hour bus ride. The destination is Dikiling, the smallest Tibetan community on their scheduled journey. After their arrival late at night, Chef cooks a warm meal for all the tired travelers. the northern Indian Dekeling is one of the 54 Tibetan enclaves and home to round about 5,000 Tibetans in exile. 50 years ago, the Indian government granted Tibetans the right to establish purely Tibetan settlements on Indian soil, a blessing for the refugees.
Balakopi, we have like a few 5,000-6,000 audience, no? So it's a really big organizing point of view. And then the Mongkot was smaller, much smaller than Balakopi, is like a 2,000 to 3,000 audience. Now we are coming down here, Dekeling is like we are expecting maximum 1,500. So even the Indian guys is not completely finished right now. So we already know the way they are doing. They do only at the last moment. Every time you come here, it's not finished. Like first day in Balakopi was like that. Also in Mongkot was like that. So here is smaller, so I know how they work now. So with the experience, I'm not so much worried. They calculate, they know by the time. And it's a big difference. When it became dark, everything looks nice. When the daytime, everything looks very ugly.
Hello, Jake. Hello. Hello, Jake.
Seat is full. We arranged 1,300 seats and there's no seat enough. So we are allowing them to sit front on the carpet.
What I can see is they feel very proud now, because normally the disability has discouraged. They whatever they do, they are not confident. Now doing this show can bring them more confident whatever they do.
Backstage, it becomes evident how much of a confidence booster the project really is. Many new friendships are formed between the children and the pop stars whilst on tour.
It's amazing. I mean, talking with them, spending time with them, you know, sharing good memories, cracking jokes, playing music, and just singing all along with them. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just amazing. One of my best moments in my life. Yeah. If we look at them, they are like physically, mentally disabled, but still they're so happy from inside. So they've got this inner joy, inner peace, and inner happiness. So we can learn so much things from them, how not to give up, how to struggle with problems.
Before they reach the mountains of Dharamsala, one last stop is planned. Half of the distance to the last stop lies behind them already. However, another 6 hours are left of the journey. It's cold and rainy. The weather forecasts predict heavy rain showers for Dharamsala, but the show is scheduled to take place outside.
It's outdoor. I don't think there's a tent ready. So if there is no tent, I'm not sure if there's even a cover on the stage. I've performed on that stage before. So if it's open stage and open audience space, then yeah, it sucks. I don't know what'll happen.
Finally, after 15 hours on India's rough roads, the Karuna Grand Show Group arrives in 2,000 meters altitude in Dharamsala, the seat of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It seems like winter was about to break out, a disaster for the planned outdoor show.
feel very, like cold, and I don't know what of the concert will be gone.
Rinpoche and his people are on high alert. Dharamsala was the highlight and finale of the whistle-stop tour, but now it looks like it might become a disappointment. Suddenly, the sky clears up, but the Indian technicians want to install their expensive equipment only indoors.
The guy with the sound system person, they don't want. But we want to be outside, so really we don't know. Because tonight there will be more people. Normally the first show is more people, the second show is less.
On the complete tour, Rinpoche expected a total of 10,000 tickets sold. If less, the entire show runs a risk of losing money. The weather gods are not aligned in his favor today. The show has to take place in a small theater.
Here only the few seats are there. So we have no choice to risk to do outside.
As the show can only be seen by less audience, Khube Rinpoche is worried about the finances.
Khala member shinda dosong tang ba. Kharil tang.
We
Ground pesha da.
ground pressure dende tan.
Ground pesha khage.
Ground mule man kot.
To the shiji de
Shipche ti wong yete. Dina don police la nye.
Together with the crew of technicians, they managed a near miracle. Stage and techniques are ready, and the show is sold out. It's the next morning, and the skies have cleared up. Today is the big day. The kids will meet the Dalai Lama, who is worshipped like a god by the Tibetans. It was this moment that they were looking forward to most.
Even though His Holiness will not come in our show, but where he's staying to make the show at that place is a really big honor, big emotional for everybody.
Although still cold, the weather has remained stable. The last show can be performed outdoors and in front of a big audience. Today, the children from Karuna Home want to give it all one last time. The stresses and strains, the cold and rain are all forgotten. The pop stars too are prepared for the last and all-important finale. For the last show of the tour, the kids have rehearsed a very special dance routine. One of the highlights of the last show is the performance of Tenzin Norbu and Sonam Tsering. Both share the same fate. When they were children, they followed the refugee treks across the mountains to Dharamsala. Since then, they were not allowed to see their parents and relatives, like many Tibetan refugees. That's what this song is all about.
Every Tibetan society talking about our show, not only in in India, but also in abroad, and I think also in Tibet, because we get some WeChat message from Tibet that show was very wonderful. So they heard from people from here. So I think show is really successful a lot.
Applause and deserved recognition after 2 weeks and 2,500 miles through the whole of India. The president of the Tibetan government in exile hands out silk scarves as a sign of recognition. The tour even attracted the Dalai Lama's attention. The next day, he grants Karuna Home an impromptu private audience.
After all this hard work journey to do all this performance and finally having an audience with His Holiness, I think everybody's tiredness and the heart, everything is now became very soft and very happy, everyone.
I will remember this tour my entire life.
It was wonderful.
Senpa kila shosha, kiki lenchi ngala sego nahata.